This is just a brief summary of the basic definitions of how to combine propositions from section 2.3 of the text logic.pdf. Okay, propositions can be simple or complex. Simple propositions are expressed by sentences without the words and, not, if, then, or synonyms. For example, the word but is a synonym for and as far as logic goes. Such words are called logical connectives. A complex proposition, on the other hand, is expressed by a sentence which contains any of these logical connectives. One kind of complex proposition involves the use of the word not. If you have the proposition Calypso is on the kitchen table, its opposite is Calypso is not on the kitchen table. The main kind of complex proposition involves several sentences joined by logical connectives. Let's consider how each logical connective works. Okay, here's the truth table definition of logical not. We're going to think of these as representing different situations in the realm of possible worlds. So we're going to imagine that in some worlds the proposition P is true, in some worlds it's false. So in the first row, those worlds with proposition P true, not P is false. And in the second row, in those worlds where P is false, not P is true. You could also look at this in terms of the actual world, where we don't know if P is true. If we find that P is true, then we'll have found that not P is false. If we find that P is false, then we'll have found that not P is true. Okay, here's the definition of logical and. The symbol is a wedge shape. So here's all the possibilities for two propositions, P and Q, laid out, 4 different rows. And on the right, you can see that P and Q is only true when both proposition P and proposition Q are true. That's the only situation in which that occurs. The connective is false when either P is true or either P is false or Q is false, or they're both false. This corresponds fairly well with what we usually mean by and. Another synonym for and is but it expresses a different kind of connection, but logically speaking, it's a synonym for and. Disjunction, or inclusive or. Here's the definition. The symbol for inclusive or is the V shape. If we look at the table, in all the different possibilities, P or Q is only false in one of them. It's true everywhere else. It's only false when both P and Q are false. This connective is true when either P is true or Q is true, or they're both true. The truth of P or Q when they're both true is what makes this an inclusive or. There's another kind of or, an exclusive or, which we're not going to use very much, which means one or the other proposition is true, but they're not both true. The most important way of combining propositions that's central to logic and mathematics is the implication, the if-then statement. It's the subject of the next talk.